I never thought I'd be one of those guys pouring his heart out on a forum at 3 in the morning, staring at a blank screen and sipping cheap whiskey, but here I am. They say trust is like a mirror. Break it, and even if you glue it back together, the cracks will always show. My name is Mark, I'm 36, and Sarah and I were the American dream. A house with a small porch, 2 cars in the garage, a golden retriever named Buddy, and a 10-year marriage I thought was unbreakable. We were that couple everyone looked at and thought, damn, they really have it all together. We barely even argued, just over little things, whose turn it was to pick up groceries or why I forgot to water the lawn again. It all started about 6 months ago. Looking back now, I see all those red flags that seemed like nothing at the time. Sarah started staying late at work, first by half an hour, then by 2. She said they had a big new client, some medical startup from Chicago, and she had to get everything ready. Like a total idiot, I believed her. I was even proud, thinking, look how great she is, building her career. She started going to the gym more, bought a bunch of new lingerie I hardly ever saw her in. When I asked why she was always on her phone, even during dinner, she'd get annoyed and say I was becoming too controlling, that she needed her own space. And I apologized. Can you imagine? I felt guilty for missing attention from my own wife.
It all came to a head last Thursday. Sarah said they had a corporate dinner downtown, and she'd probably stay at a friend's place so she wouldn't have to drive back late in the dark. I said okay, told her to have a good time, and sat down to watch some baseball game. But something inside me twisted. You know that strange feeling in your gut when you know you're being played, but you're too afraid to admit it to yourself? Around 10, I noticed her iPad was still on the kitchen table, and it wasn't locked. I'm not proud of what I did next. I opened her messages. There were no work chats. There was David. Judging by the messages, this David was that very client from Chicago. The texts were, God, it still makes me sick when I remember those words. She was writing things to him she'd never said to me in all 10 years. She wrote about how she was looking forward to their meeting at the Hilton downtown, how tired she was of the boring routine and the always tired husband. I don't remember getting dressed. I don't remember speeding down the highway, breaking every rule. There was only one thought in my head. This is a mistake, some stupid prank. I got to the hotel, left the car at the entrance, and walked into the lobby. I knew she was there. My heart was pounding in my throat. I could barely breathe. I sat down in a chair in the corner, hiding behind a huge potted palm tree, and waited. About an hour passed, and then they came out. Sarah was laughing. She looked so happy, so alive, in a way I hadn't seen her in years. She was holding the arm of a tall guy in an expensive suit. He was whispering something in her ear, and she playfully nudged him. This didn't look like a mistake. This looked like a full-blown second life. I didn't make a scene. I didn't punch him or scream in the lobby. I just stood up and walked out. It was raining outside. I stood by my car, looked at my hands, and had no idea what came next. Everything I'd built over 10 years, every brick of our house, every shared photo on the wall, had turned to trash.
When she came back the next day with a smile and a story about how much fun she'd had with the girls, I just put her iPad in front of her with the chat with David open. She went pale. The standard excuses started. It didn't mean anything. I was confused. You weren't paying attention to me. We can fix this. She cried, got down on her knees, swore it only happened a couple of times. But I looked at her and saw a stranger. Right now, I'm living in a small rented apartment on the outskirts of town. She stayed in the house because I couldn't be there. Every corner reminded me of the betrayal. Buddy stayed with her, and that hurts the most. We're in the middle of a divorce. Lawyers are discussing the division of assets, retirement accounts, some paperwork. And I just sit in the evenings and wonder, how can you know someone for so long and not know them at all?
The worst part is I still catch myself wanting to call her, to tell her about my day or ask if she's seen my old sneakers. And then I remember those messages on the iPad and that happy smile at the Hilton. They say time heals, but so far it's just been pouring salt on an open wound. I don't know if I'll ever be able to trust anyone again. Probably I will, but it'll be a different Mark, the one who's always waiting for the catch, even when everything seems perfect. What would you have done in my place?